What up? It's your boy Cerulean, founder of FirstWeek FlipPh.one, but because it's 2021, coming at you with the LightPhone today. And setting up at a slightly strange angle, and it's so I can show you a new feature on the LightPhone here. So I'm sitting atop the ring light tripod, and I'm giving the phone the ring light, so not being vain for a change. But anyway, let's get into it. That new feature is directions. This is huge, people. So now that's my toolbox, phone, and then obviously music and podcasts we've covered. I don't really use them that much, but this one I used a lot, and it helped me with this one with my live music, and I'll tell you more about that shortly. But let's get into it with the directions feature. So obviously you go to your LightPhone dashboard to install the tool as usual, and it tells you about how they partnered with here.com, and there's a load of privacy stuff, and I think sometimes there's complacency about these companies. Like, people assume that, like, let's call it the triangle of good technology: privacy, security, humane design. People assume that just because LightPhone's humane design, it will be good on privacy and security. I'm not convinced. Like, often because they focus on that, they don't have the resources for the other two. I don't have any reason to believe here actually respect privacy and security any better than Apple Maps, let alone Google Maps. But anyway, I did it because I want to be a pioneer for you guys to lead the way of how to use it. So here it is. So as you can see, here, click your side button to get it, directions, and then let's you got your from, and it has actually an active online GPS. It's currently trying to find my location. You can set a home, and then 2, you can search it. So you search up. So let's say I wanted to go to pay a visit to my boy Bojo, give him the video of us doing 621 last night. We can search that up. Oh, there it is, 10 Downing Street. All right, let's go. And it can find your location, but you can also put it in. So let's see if there's any streets that go as high as the name of that song that we performed last night at the Hoxton Underbelly, and video of that is coming at youtube.com/Cerulean Sounds. Oh look, there's a Cafe 621, Romford, Essex. Nice. This seems like it could be a thing. Essex man don't walk. Come on. I reckon driving. It has got public. I haven't tried the public transit yet. If anyone has, note that it says public transit because it isn't really adapted to the UK. Like, it calls everything like traffic circles. And also note that it says offline mode there. We'll quickly check the settings here. My default's set to GPS rather than offline, but it goes to offline when it can't pick up GPS. Default was metric. I switched to imperial because it's kilometers otherwise, which I obviously prefer, but the UK government don't yet. Voice commands I have on, and they can be a bit annoying, like traffic circle, take second exit on traffic circle. Every 2 minutes, you can't customize it versus Apple Maps. But anyways, it's on offline mode, as you can see, because it can't pick up GPS for some reason. But it does that usually based on the hardware installed in the phone, and this was stroke of genius, them getting it in the phone. All right, and actually on offline mode, it just gives you the directions a bit like a printout of Apple Maps, which is something that I do a lot in FirstWeek FlipPh.one. It doesn't give you a choice on the route to take though. But this blew my mind that there's visual representation of the map, and you can see the little here tag there. I was like, whoa, seeing this on a, and I clicked that button to see the zoomed out version, and seeing that on a tiny e-ink screen just blew my mind. Especially when you see it live updating when it's on GPS mode, unbelievable. But yeah, anyway, I was super impressed. And yeah, I wish I could show you on GPS mode, but it's not loading. But take my word for it, it's almost as good as Apple Maps. Let me just say this: there's a bias towards giving directions too late. So when it says 300 feet to go, just assume it's now. Okay, so don't wait for the next turn. You should turn almost before it says it should. But other than that, it's almost nearly as good as Apple Maps. And obviously, I switched away from Google to Apple Maps 2 years ago when I divested Google. So, yeah, man, honestly, like, it's getting to the point with this feature. Man, this is like one of the massive IRL keys. First, this is one of the can't live without apps is the maps. And gosh, this is really nearly as good. So it's really becoming quite compelling, the idea of going full time on the LightPhone. But obviously for me, it's the first week, so I'll be switching back to the smartphone now. And I'm gonna do that right now while we're on this view, and then I'm gonna switch back to see my face to chat through the rest of my week. First week flip phone culture tings. Sorry if the camera's a bit shaky. Let me know if you think this view doesn't really work as well. Straddling the camera. My hands are obviously massive as well, but there you go. Staying on brand with the Small Town Dreamer. So yeah, there's the sim. So yeah, new things this week. On my blog, personal blog version linked in the description, you're now going to get some more bonus stuff. You're going to get my rescue time and screen time stats of the before and after of first week flip phone, and you might get some more more details about what it is I've discussed about. But anyway, that is the iPhone coming back on. So I'm now gonna switch camera view to start chatting about the cultures that I did this week. But let's do that. I scratched a new view. I just had a show don't tell revelation. I can actually show you the track list as I speak through them. So yeah, music wise, I was catching up on last month's Heath McNeese Two Notes Too Furious from Bandcamp, from Nerdcore Genre Recommendation. Before that, it was this month's Michael Clancy, If the Sun Goes Down. And this was a personal meet. I met him at good friend of mine was performing at London Unplugged in Chiswick, and this guy was on after, and just thought it was pretty special what he was doing. He was adapting US country music in his own British way, and I think he could take that idea of adapting to British further. In my notes, he talks about, my favourite tracks were Hope and To Love Again, especially Hope. Spectacular middle 8, where he goes falsetto with Love Remains. But I just felt that Hook missed an opportunity lyrically when he said, my heart belongs a girl to York. I was like, I just feel like he could do more to observe that he's adapting US music. So he could have done a New York pun there. So for example, it could have gone something like, my head says head to New York, but I gave my heart to a girl from York. We could go Old York, I guess. But I just feel like, I don't know, my punny mind was like begging for that. But musically, it's phenomenal. Hope and To Love Again. Absolutely brilliant. I'd love to explore what it would be like to do, like, you know how like Lil Nas X teamed up with Billy Ray Cyrus for like country hip hop crossover. What would it be like to do like UK country, UK hip hop crossover? The MC Beastly brain is obviously churning. But yeah, onward to Heath McNeese, or backward should I say. I was catching up. Boy, am I glad that I did. This is such a funny concept for a record. He clearly just did the first one called called Notes, and it was during lockdown. It's been quite a common album art trope to do your Apple Note screenshot. Like even Bieber did it. But to then take the sequel, Two Notes Too Furious, is such a brilliant concept. I guess my equivalent would be calling my second record Small Town Dreamer with a TWO. And then I guess I could do Small Town Threemer for the third one. Or I could just say, screw it, I'm just going to go for ridiculous and call it Snakes on a Small Town Dreamer. But anyway, no, I love this title track. I love the reference. Sorry, there's the album art, the Apple Notes screenshot. I love the reference to movies. Obviously, we got MC Beastly feature called coming out on an AD track called Wall on the 25th. So I love my movie references. And I love he references Honda a bit. It feels like it's like the American Skoda. I also loved Weekend at Bernie's, especially because there's a Cerulean Blue reference, and then Magic School Bus is quite a special track. It feels like a proper like reluctant artist song, really honest about everything about it, including how easy he finds it to rap well, and how, you know, he knows that acoustic people love it. And props to the Hamlet reference as well, homie. So well done you. Yeah, that's music, books. It was these two, fiction, non-fiction. Start with Touch. This was research for the second record. If you're an eagle-eyed person, you must maybe start to figure out what that concept is going to be. If you read the patterns, it's the science of the sense that makes us human. Let's have a look at the blurb. Where does holding a hot drink make us like people more? How can a soldier under fire not even notice he's been shot? And let's be honest, the thing that sells and the thing that, you know, we were most interested in. What makes sex so much fun? I mean, there is basically a chapter on sex science, and it is absolutely fascinating. And chapter 4, sexual touch, but even 3, the anatomy of a caress, leads into it. For me, the rest of it was, I mean, I think one of the things, what's interesting is I wanted to say, like, that's what was most interesting. But what you quickly realize is how, it sounds kind of bad, but it's not necessarily as special or different as the rest of bodily touch, and it's really related. And yeah, it really definitely shows that, like, this idea of, like, put the penis in the vagina the way that God intended is, like, it's a bit not really biologically that important, because, like, apparently, like, the toes are also super fucking sexual, female nipples, and then the genital areas, it's, like, actually way more spread out, like, where the pleasure stuff comes from. So yeah, it's definitely very, like, informative and interesting read. And then this one, the fiction, Hamlet Revenge. I mean, oh my god. The scene is Scamden Court, seat of the Duke of Horton. The act is murder of the Lord Chancellor of England. At the climax of his select and private presentation of Hamlet. I mean, how good is that? For a setup for a detective story, there's like a play within a play thing going on. It's like, it's absolutely incredible. I really think this deserves to be put on screen, and I'd love to play Clay, the actor who plays Hamlet, because it's the most low-key way of playing Hamlet. You play someone playing it, and you'd have to get into it all and learn all 4 hours, but yeah, you get to do a couple of really good scenes, and oh my god. I'm not surprised the experts of crime fiction have called this the best of his detective stories. I mean, I haven't read the other ones, but it's hard to beat. You just got to deal with the fact there's a lot of all this Dukes of Horton and Lord Chancellors of England and all these capital letters about English things. But this cracked me up, right? Michael Innes is the pseudonym of J.M. Stewart, who's this, like, amazing academic and writes, like, literary novels. But he publishes his detective novels under the pseudonym. And it makes me think that, like, detective novels was, like, compared to, like, literary novels was, like, the rapper alter ego compared to, like, singer-songwriter music of back in the day. And it's just, like, it just cracks me up that, like, I don't know, I felt a connection here. And, you know, I just love the fact that he brings, I mean, what does it say here? It says, oh man, here we go. Mr. Innes engages the 14-year-old in highbrows. I mean, come on, that is amazing. That's the dream. So yeah, man, great books, great month. And I just quickly wanted to mention, I wouldn't have made it to the show where we did 621. You'll see the video on Cerulean Sounds if it hadn't been for the directions feature on the LightPhone. So thank you to the LightPhone. But as you already saw, it's back to the smartphone now. Let me know what you think of the new format. Of, you know, seeing a bit my chin and then the stuffs. Know what you think of the new format in terms of switching between this view and the object views. Are my hands too big? Do you feel like the screen space is wasted on landscape? Yeah, like, what do you think I should do in 2022? Do you think I should do a new phone? Minimalist phone. I'm looking at, there's this FirstWeek one, it's got a signal on it. Do you think that I should keep FirstWeek FlipPh.one on a separate channel? Do you think I should move it into Cerulean Sounds where I got more subscribers? Let me know what you think, people. But I'm still going to deliver 3 more videos, vlogs to this channel. And so yeah, FlipPh.one out till the next month of October, when I will have left London. We'll be looking northward for the tour and Polar Express Christmas show. Adios. From your small town dreamer, Cerulean.